Have you ever wondered why you keep ending up with the wrong people? Why the ones you want don't want you back? Why the ones who excite you eventually hurt you? And why the people who could actually treat you well never seem to be the ones you choose? It's confusing, isn't it? You tell yourself you're done with toxic patterns, yet somehow you find yourself repeating the same emotional cycle with a different face. You want love, but you feel drawn to people who can't give it. You want peace, but chaos feels strangely familiar. A part of you even knows this is wrong, yet you keep walking straight toward the same kind of heartbreak, almost as if something deeper inside you is choosing long before your mind does. And maybe, right now, you're quietly asking yourself the question you've been avoiding for years. Why do I keep choosing the wrong people? People like to believe they choose their partners logically, but the truth is far more uncomfortable. You don't choose with your mind. You choose with your wounds. Every unresolved hurt, every childhood pattern, every moment you felt unseen or unimportant becomes a blueprint for the kind of love you are drawn to in adulthood. If you grew up around emotional distance, you will be magnetically attracted to people who make you chase. If affection in your childhood was unpredictable, you will feel a strange pull toward partners who give you just enough to keep you hoping. If love always came with conditions, you will mistake conditional love for passion. Your wounds recognize what is familiar, and familiarity feels like home, even when it's harming you. So when someone healthy shows up, stable, present, consistent, your mind says, "This is good," but your wounds say, "This feels wrong." And without realizing it, you walk away from the people who could love you well and move toward the ones who echo your old pain. That's why choosing the wrong people doesn't make you weak or irrational. It simply means the hurt you never healed is still choosing for you. Another reason you choose the wrong people is because you've spent so much of your life mistaking chaos for chemistry. Somewhere along the way, your nervous system learned that love is supposed to feel intense. The butterflies, the anxiety, the guessing, the emotional roller coaster. So when someone stable appears, someone who communicates clearly, someone who shows up without games, they don't feel exciting. They feel unfamiliar, and unfamiliar feels unsafe. You tell yourself there's no spark, but the truth is, you're mistaking emotional peace for boredom. Real connection is steady, calm, grounded. But if you've only known unpredictable love, that calmness feels like nothing. Meanwhile, the person who triggers your anxiety, who keeps you on edge, who gives you mixed signals, they feel dangerously magnetic. Not because they're right for you, but because your body recognizes the emotional pattern. Your mind calls it chemistry, but it's really just your past repeating itself. And until you learn the difference between excitement and instability, you will keep choosing chaos disguised as passion and overlook the people who could actually make you feel safe. A painful truth most people never admit is that sometimes you choose the wrong people because, deep down, you're trying to win a type of love you didn't receive in the past. When someone is distant, unpredictable, or emotionally unavailable, a part of you rises to the challenge. Not because you genuinely want them, but because you want to finally feel chosen by someone who reminds you of the ones who never chose you. You're not chasing a person, you're chasing emotional closure. You want to prove to yourself that you are worthy, lovable, enough. And if you can make the unavailable person stay, it feels like healing the wound they represent. But this is an illusion. No partner can fix what someone else broke. And choosing people who cannot love you the way you need doesn't heal you. It deepens the wound. You keep trying to earn love from those who struggle to give it, hoping that if you work hard enough, sacrifice enough, stay patient enough, they'll change. But love built on proving yourself is not love. It's self-abandonment in disguise. And as long as you're trying to repair your past through your relationships, you'll continue choosing people who make you fight for the very thing you already deserve. Before we continue, please take a moment to like this video. Your support helps more people discover these ideas. And if you're enjoying this journey into the mysteries of the mind, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Now, back to the video. One of the hardest truths to accept is that when you choose the wrong people, it's rarely because you didn't see the red flags. It's because you didn't want to. You noticed the inconsistency. You felt the distance. You sensed the hesitation. You saw the patterns, the mixed signals, the emotional unavailability. But you pushed it aside, hoping that if you loved them enough or proved yourself enough, the red flags would somehow turn into green ones. You weren't blind. You were hopeful. And sometimes hope can be more dangerous than ignorance. You fell in love with who they could be, not who they were. You built a future based on potential, not reality. You told yourself they just needed time, or healing, or patience, even though their behavior was telling you everything you needed to know from the start. Ignoring red flags isn't a sign of stupidity. It's a sign of emotional hunger. When you desperately want a connection to work, you will rewrite every warning into an excuse. But potential cannot love you. Potential cannot choose you. And every time you overlook what hurts, you end up breaking your own heart on someone else's patterns. One of the strangest realities of healing is that when you finally meet someone healthy, someone emotionally present, someone who actually sees you and shows up for you without games, your first instinct might be to pull away, not because something is wrong with them, but because something inside you is not used to being treated gently. When your whole life taught you that love comes with anxiety, mixed signals, emotional distance, or unpredictability, real stability feels unnatural. Your body doesn't register safety as love. It registers it as unfamiliar. So the person who is consistent might feel boring, the one who respects your boundaries might feel too much, and the one who wants to know the real you might feel overwhelming. But none of that is truth. It's just your nervous system trying to protect you from something new. And sometimes the reason you keep choosing the wrong people is because the right one doesn't activate your old wounds. And without the chaos, without the intensity, without the emotional roller coaster, you don't know how to interpret the feeling. Healing means teaching your heart that calmness is not emptiness, that predictability is not boredom, and that being treated well is not suspicious. It's what you always deserved. The right person feels uncomfortable at first, only because they don't feel like your past. You don't break the pattern by forcing yourself to choose different people. You break it by healing the version of you that keeps being drawn to the same emotional wounds dressed in different bodies. The shift begins the moment you stop asking, "Why do they treat me this way?" and start asking, "Why do I stay?" It begins when you stop romanticizing intensity and start valuing emotional safety. When you stop chasing people who make you question yourself and start choosing those who make you feel grounded instead of anxious. Healing means learning to recognize the difference between attention and intention, between chemistry and compatibility, between being wanted and being valued. It means noticing when your nervous system mistakes anxiety for attraction and choosing not to follow that impulse anymore. It means pausing when you feel triggered instead of running toward the familiar pattern of chaos. It means realizing that the peace you keep rejecting is exactly the life you've been searching for. And slowly, as you heal, you'll notice something remarkable. The people you once chased will no longer appeal to you. The chaos that once felt magnetic will start to feel exhausting, and the love that once felt too calm will begin to feel like home. Because real change doesn't start with choosing the right person. It starts with becoming the version of yourself who no longer settles for the wrong one. At some point, you have to stop calling your patterns bad luck and start recognizing them as unhealed wounds asking for your attention. You're not cursed, and you're not destined to repeat the same story forever. You simply haven't been taught what healthy love feels like. But the moment you slow down, reflect, and choose differently, everything begins to shift. You stop confusing chaos for passion. You stop mistaking inconsistency for chemistry. You stop abandoning yourself for people who were never capable of meeting you where you are. Healing doesn't mean you suddenly attract perfect people. It means you finally recognize your worth enough to walk away from the ones who can't show up. If this video resonated with you, subscribe for more, give it a like, and let me know in the comments which part spoke to you the most. I read every message. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.